Welcome everybody to another episode of Growing Up Kayfabe. What's this? What's this around us? Oh my god. Is this the old layout? Is this how it used to look? That's right. We're back. I want to change all this eventually, but this is how it normally is supposed to look. So welcome back to the original look of the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is in fact scheduled for one fall. And today we're going to go over this passing Saturday night's main event. Normally on this podcast, we go over the past week of wrestling and talk about some of the most important stories, spots, backstage moments throughout the entire week on all three brands. But for the time's sake, and for coming back on the first episode, considering the big events that just happened at Saturday night main event, we'll go over that and then touch on some stuff through the week as the episode goes on. So we'll start by naming some things that I found to be important and or something that stood out to me throughout the week on all three shows. For starters, Monday, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I can't say how happy I am for Charlotte Flair in the sense that, like, before she got injured in this past time, it's known on this podcast, you can go back and archive exactly how I felt in both ways about Charlotte Flair, where at first I'm coming back and I know the story of her, you know, essentially using the name and everybody giving it. She's just constantly won so many championships in a matter of time of coming into the company, and I was ready to not like her. But she had already just come back from an injury, I believe, and she was crushing it. She was doing all kinds of high flyer stuff. Everybody loved her, and I was like, I'm in. I'm sold on Charlotte Flair. Then she gets injured, and then I'm hearing all this background stuff that's like boo, boo, boo. And then everybody's saying when she's coming back, they're like, oh, well, when Charlotte comes back, of course it's going to suck. She's just going to take over. And it's exactly what happened. And everybody booed her immediately. And the turn to put her with Alexa Bliss, I mean, the genius idea, whoever that was, collective, one person, whoever, what a great idea, because it has completely turned her babyface, and everybody loves Charlotte now. And that tag match was incredible. The spot that sticks out to me the most was Alexa catching Valkyria, coming off the rope and catching her for the Sister Abigail DDT. Beautiful work. Now that is a spot. My only concern is with women's tag team champions. We know the record. We know how the story goes. You get the championship. You do some defenses. All of a sudden, one teammate gets injured. And they already have Charlotte Flair on the team, who has, in fact, been injured multiple times. And probably, as we all know, might still be, you know, working through some leg kinks. We don't know. But I had to point out how great that part was on Monday. A few more call-outs from this past week's episode of Raw. Again, by the time you're watching this, this will be the previous week. So if you're watching this right now, the week before Saturday night main event, the Rusev Penta match was exactly everything we thought it would be. But my issue would be the next thing that I'd like to talk about is that I haven't really done the noticing on Smackdown to see if it's happening this way a lot. But there's something about Raw where they love to book a match that is an absolute certified banger. You know, you think like Io versus Stephanie, or in this case, Rusev versus Penta. And they have a way of, for some reason, going, here's the thought, 25-minute banger. At the end, instead of getting a decisive winner, interference. What do you guys say? And for some reason, everybody in the room is like, that's genius. We've only done that 17 times this month, but let's do it again. I know this is something that people notice. I know that it was the thing with the Vision, or they end every week with the Vision jumping somebody at the end of a match. Okay, well... Let's not make exceptions to the rule, okay? This is kind of crazy. That match was incredible. You think about the Penta driver and then Rusev kicking out by doing a kick to Penta's head and Penta flatlining. It's art. There's moments in wrestling where you have to like understand this is art what these guys are doing. That was incredible. And I don't necessarily want to give a big shout out to the Sheamus match. It was a great match. Sheamus, everything Sheamus does, everything he touches turns to a pot of gold, if you will. Don't hurt me over that, Sheamus. But, I mean, Sheamus getting hit with a standing Spanish fly off the top rope. Not in my 2025 bingo card. Not anywhere in there. I've looked twice. The thing, though, reason I don't want to give the shout out to him so much is because, realistically, the thing I cared about most in the match was the way Finn got involved and just how good Finn is. And I'm wondering when WWE's finally going to take off the blinders and take out their earplugs and listen to the crowd reaction of Finn and understand how much this guy is over with the crowd. And online, too. He's super over. When he came out of NXT Homecoming, and they came out with his old music, and the crowd reaction to that, like, imagine that in a PLE today now, like an actual WWE PLE. Crazy. But it's hard to say. It's really hard to say where he's going to go. And also, I don't know where Finn lies on that. So, last shout out of Monday, though. Nope, I lied. The last shout out of Monday is something very comical. Stephanie Vacure comes out to save Nikki Bella against the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day backs off. Big Mommy Cool, which is honestly such a cool nickname for Raquel Rodriguez. Big Mommy Cool steps up, and Stephanie steps up, and it's the wrestling reaction, right? That's what they, when they're trying to see if a crowd's interested, you take this big megastar and you take this fan favorite or other megastar, and you have them stand here like this in a face-off, and if the crowd goes fucking nuts, then you book that match or you start booking a storyline to get to that match. They were doing that with Stephanie and Raquel, and it was working. Everybody's like, oh shit, Big Mommy Cool versus Stephanie? I haven't thought about this one yet. This would be tight. I'd love to watch 3 matches of this. And then if this is them right here, if this is them staring at each other, this is my head's Nikki Bella for some reason who decides to go. And she death stares. She just did nothing. She got her ass beat. I mean, she lost the match, and she gets her ass beat by the Judgment Day. And then Stephanie and Raquel are having a cool ass moment, and Nikki's like, "I'm also here." It's such a funny moment. I don't think that's how that was really supposed to go, but shouts out to it. There must have been a spot where it's like, Nikki, you're supposed to be there, and Nikki's like, It's just like, get the fuck back, step back. Big Mommy Cool and Stephanie Vacure, La Primera, are going at it right now. They're giving each other the stare down. That's all I wanted to mention from this Raw. This NXT's cooking every week. There's a lot to talk about with NXT, of course. Shout out Tatum Paxley, who has been deserving of this title change for so long, and someone who's been kind of like in the backseat, like we've thought for the past month and a half. They've been kind of teasing that it's going to be Lola Vice, and then Tatum Paxley. Heck yeah, exactly what we want. And the story and the directions for the story are already going all over the place in a good way. Very much happy about that. Very much bummed out about everything that's going on with Sol Ruca. That's the name of the game, baby. Injuries. But my favorite spot from all of NXT. Trick has this, what you would think to be go away heat because everybody's kind of tired of it. But it's honestly, it's like, how angry is he going to get next week? And when and how is he going to interrupt next week? It's kind of interesting. It's kind of borderline right now. But him and Ricky Saints have the best, escalation, because Trick is back there talking all that shit. He's in the ring now. He comes to the ring talking all that shit. Ava comes out and she's like, yeah, no, so anyway, you lost and yada yada. And Trick keeps talking shit. And from the heavens, you hear Ricky Saints' voice. And you're like, where is this man? And like a G, he comes running out, title in hand. He's got his title up here. He's got the microphone here. And he's saying he's running, which is impressive to be running and not sounding like you're running. But he's running to the ring. That's a whole lot of talk for somebody who got their ass beat this Saturday. Let me check him. And he just gets in there and starts. And what a cool moment by Ricky Saints to come out and say, that's a lot of talk for somebody who just got their ass beat. Let me check your ass. Fucking hops in the ring, goes at it. Big brawl, which interrupts the match. Ah, man. So cool. I've been thinking about it all week. That being said, just the honorary mentions for SmackDown. The reports I'm hearing are that people thought that the SmackDown was a lot better than the past weeks. Sure, I'll give them that. I thought it was pretty good. I personally have been thinking like the past few weeks of SmackDown have been okay. In this podcast, like, although there are some things that we will critique, in the majority of it all, like, I'm not, like, you can only ask for so much from the product each week, and you just can't expect it to be like 100% guaranteed banger all the time. And there's nothing that's perfect, because AEW is the same way, TNA is the same way, like everything. It's just the way wrestling is. People are always going to have complaints about the way it goes. But people are saying they really like this episode. Shout out to the set for finally having some form of Halloween set, spooky skeletons, like we've talked about on this podcast before. Just a little bit of set decor goes a long way for special events. It's appreciated at the minimum. But my shouts out would go to Chelsea Green's backstage moment, getting a match with Julia because she's afraid of the 9 days away from no longer being the longest, most reigning, most dangerous United States female champion of all time. And that segment overall, and I'll give it this, I've given Alba Fire a lot of shit, but she was funny. She was funny in that segment. Immediately. We needed it immediately. Yeah, a match. That'd be good. Yeah. And then just for Julia to be getting in Chelsea's face and then Alba to be like, no, we're not doing that. No. It's good. It made me laugh. So that segment overall, people talk about R-Truth with the Christmas and getting it wrong with Halloween. That was funny and all, but I'm like, is that all R-Truth is again? And if so, is that what R-Truth wants to do? R-Truth has always talked about he loves just doing that anyway, so... But I loved it. I mean, nothing wrong with giving R-Truth some more comedy spots. Tama Tonga getting hinted at to going after the U.S. champion. I'm excited for that. I'm also worried, though, because somebody's got to make a run with this U.S. title. Like, somebody's got to go on for at least a few months. At least. Because right now, I mean, the way it changes hands, again, you got to... I'll give it to Sammy. The way he did the open challenge did make that title a little bit more interesting again. And with Ilya having it and kind of carrying it on, that's also extremely good because Ilya's a beast in the ring. Like, literally couldn't have picked a better guy to be somebody who's going to be a quote-unquote fighting champion. So I'm excited about that. I don't think that Tama would fit that mold per se. I don't see Tama coming out being like, yeah, open challenge, yeah. I don't see that, especially if he's with the MFTs. Like, I don't know. But on the flip side of that coin, I love Tama Tonga. Like, yeah. And what? I got everybody on that yeah. So, would he be a great U.S. champion? Sure. I will be honest with you, and I'd hate to sound like a certain McMahon, but the weight gain bothers me. I'm not gonna lie to you, fam. Man, my man was lean, cut. He fit that yeah, crawling all over the ground and stuff. And it's not that he's like fat per se. Like, he's still got that muscly belly, but like it's like, I don't know. For me, I notice it, and I notice it in the way he moves is different. So you never know. As we know, callbacks happen early. Sheamus got called back early. He thought he had some more time to get into shape, and instead he had to kind of go back burger after burger after burger. So could have been the same thing for Tama Tonga, and then he like slims down over time. And it's not to say that that's the biggest point. It's to say that I notice it, and then I also notice it affecting his wrestling. So if he's going to change more and continue to progress and stick around and not get injured again, then I would say, yeah, eventually get that title on Tama Tonga. Hell yeah. I don't mind it. At least we got to see Nikki Cross for a little Halloween special. That was kind of cool. That was the most they gave us for the Wyatt 6. Everybody else was probably still in Orlando, if I had to guess. Maybe, I don't know how Nikki Cross is there and they weren't there. That's actually a good question. I don't know. It is a good question. I don't know why the Wyatt 6 were not there for the Halloween episode on Halloween. I don't know. And this will lead into Saturday Night Main Event, but my critique for the night, and it's just one thing, but it's the things that add up. And it's Jade Cargill messing up the easiest fucking line possible. She comes out. I just don't see it, guys. I'm sorry. Like, I see through the bullshit, and everybody's like, the aura. You see how she enters? I'm like, yeah, dude, everybody's aura when they entrance is awesome. That's like the point of the fucking entrance. It's what happens the 7 steps afterwards that's the issue. And for her, it immediately goes away. She clearly always has an issue with the crowd, but nobody's buying it in a heel way because we all know she actually takes issue with the crowd in real life. Like, she's not very appreciative of any fans of hers, and you wouldn't say that. Like, she might say it to be, publicity, but the reality is that she has done nothing but complain, say fans don't like her, say fans don't, they just don't respect her. They're haters. We're racist. It's like, come on. So like, nobody really gets behind the whole thing when there's too much reality behind it. So we weren't, the people that were behind you as a babyface, they see what they see. They see a woman who's strong, good looking, has an aura, a big aura entrance. But I see a woman who botches all the time. I see a woman who doesn't have great charisma on the mic. I see a woman whose promos are flat and read like a script. That's what I see. And it's not good. That's not good product. So for everybody to just who's fans of hers to just overlook it, like, well, you know, she's still new. I'm like, right? If she's still new, then she shouldn't be doing this shit. She should be doing a tag team again. She should be go down to NXT or something. Go for a mid card title, not the WWE title. So she comes out in what I assume is a Catwoman from the Tim Burton Batman. I'm assuming that's what it kind of looked like. And then I don't know how you mess up Tiffy time, because that's what she messed up. All she had to say, come Saturday Night Main Event, Tiffy time is up. And instead she said, Taffy time is over. Now, I'm not really going at the over or up. Both of those work. How do you mess up Tiffy with Taffy? How do you do that? And again, oh, it's a mistake. It's multiple mistakes. Multiple mistakes on that mic. Multiple mistakes on those promos. Multiple mistakes in the ring. Everybody, like I've talked about before on the podcast, everybody giving Nia shit. Oh, who Irish whips into a stair? Everybody. Who doesn't cover their fucking face when they go into stairs? Jade Cargill. That's who. It's just nothing. It frustrates me to my core. You know, it just seems like a very unnecessary push. And I feel like it's because they realize that they have two babyface champions. But I don't know. I just don't quite understand that. Like, Jade's not a believable heel champion. Nothing in this world. Like, what's she gonna do? Come out next week and be like, I told y'all. All y'all. I'm like, it's the same thing you do every week. I don't care. Just like when you're a babyface, it's the same thing every week. I'm the storm and I'm coming. And y'all can't handle the eye of the storm because I am the storm and I'm the best. I'm the strongest. That's it. Go look back at any of her promos. Tell me if there's anything more of substance, of anything more of character development, of anything more of personalization to it than just calling herself the storm, saying she's strong and saying she's going to whip someone's ass. It's just not enough. And it could be, sometimes less is more, but you have to deliver that shit, son. Like, you gotta make me believe that less is more. If I pick up my phone and start talking to you guys about how passionate I am about Jade Cargill and how much I don't like this stuff, I don't like Jade Cargill. She is a bad champion. She does not talk good on microphone. Do you believe my passion or no? No, you think I'm an idiot, right? So then there you go. Next time you have Jade Cargill on the screen, stop staring at the muscles and the beauty, because nobody's saying that that's not there. Pay attention to what she's actually doing, and you'll see, like, man, this ain't good. This is not good. They talk about on the promo leading up to Jade Cargill and Tiffy how many matches they've had, and they couldn't make it any more obvious that Jade Cargill was going to win because she's been screwed out of all her matches with Tiffy. She has had so many matches with Tiffany, and they've all sucked. Then none of them have gone great. There has been botches in every single one. And for anybody to say it's one or the other, it's both. But my point still stands that, again, it's both. So, yes, if you want to shit on Tiffany, I'll shit on Tiffany too. Sometimes Tiffany's flat. And she said because she would rather be a heel. She's a great heel. Babyface, it seems like she doesn't really know what she's doing. Jade, same thing. Hey, babyface or heel, you don't know what you're doing. And you botch a lot. I agree. Ahsoka just jumped on the bed and said, meow. That being said, let's move into Saturday night's main event. We will not start Saturday night main event by talking about the opener match. We will talk about the Jade versus Tiffany match. I'm trying to figure out where to begin exactly. I don't know if I should start with my disappointment or my anger with the match. It was the only blemish on Saturday night main event, in my opinion. I'll say this. It's bothering me so much that I have been working on my ums. And this has got me ummed up right now. I am umming all over the place because I don't quite understand it. I just don't understand. Like, Tiffany spent a lot of time on NXT, became NXT Women's Champion, became super over with the crowd, went to Australia to prove, did big time matches to prove that she was over with the crowd still. Did incredible spots that were highlighted for months and months, even to this time right now. Her swan-taunting off of the cage whilst Io does the backflip at the can. Her swan-taunting off the top of Elimination Chamber. Like, the thing she has done to get to the spot where she's at, incredible. Jade got fake put through a car. And not even. Jade laid out on a crushed car. That's the spot of the entire like WWE career. If you look at like, man, what's the spot that like made everybody go like, whoa, Jade something. What are you gonna say? I would say maybe it's the first time she came out, second time, and she started to lift Nia. That. But you know, a lot of women have done that / tried to do it, so it's not that incredible. So the only memorable thing that she's done is fucking lay on a table or a car. So for the fact that Tiffany got pushed so hard, it made a lot of sense. They needed a champion. They needed a babyface. Tiffany was super over. She was most money in the bank. The storyline with her and Nia, even though it got dragged on for some time, was perfect to set up that cash in. There we go. Everything's forced with Jade. Everything. Her involvement in this whole Tiffany thing this whole time. Like, every time Tiffany beat her, instead of everybody going, what's next? What are we doing next? They just kept giving us Jade. So it's where I start to not understand. I go, okay, well, she keeps losing, and there's not like this big like battle for backstage of like, hey, I got screwed over. I think there was like one time, and then it's like, how many more times do we have to go through that storyline to get to a match with them? And that's what she just, like, this last time for Saturday Night's Main Event, she just randomly showed up on the show and was like, I talked to Nick Aldis, and he gave me a match with you for my rematch for your title. And it's like, this is the third or fourth one you guys are doing. Like, what? Okay, so what you're just telling me right now is that you're about to win the title on Saturday Night Main Event. Because that's what happened. Jade Cargill comes out and absolutely dominates Tiffany Stratton. People are wondering if, because Tiffany did a kayfabe injury, if that is an actual injury that she's now going to go away for, so she wanted to get squashed in the match. And it wasn't technically like a full squash, but basically like Cargill hit her with like 4 fall-away slams, which is the dumbest shit ever in my opinion. The power bombs are cool. She hit her with like 3 power bombs, but in that, like, it just seemed like overzealous. Like, you really, really just beat down somebody that was like, you're hyping up to be like, you know, extremely long reign for her first title reign ever. Young, you know, comes in and wins the title in her first year. And it's like, okay, well, now she just got beat up by somebody who isn't anywhere near as good at her on any other format of that. And now you're just like, yep, now Jade Cargill's our top girl. Set up for what? Bianca can't come back for a while. She's still injured with her finger. It's going to be like months probably before she comes back. Naomi's still out for a whole year plus. What do we do? Like, that's her 2 main storylines. I'm assuming you're going to do a Tiffany line, like where Tiffany's going to go for a rematch at whatever next PLE or main event. I'm guessing. But otherwise, what else are you going to do? Nia's doing something else with Alexa and Charlotte now. Like, you'd have to pull out some crazy thing. And the thing is with Jade is that if you pull out somebody, especially if Jade's, you know, heel now, if the next person you pull out for a babyface go at this championship against Jade that isn't Tiffany is going to get the biggest support and pop because it's just something different. We've been dealing with the same shit for the past 4 months. And it's like, if you give us something that isn't Jade and Tiffany, we'll like that. So that being said, you could have given us Tiffany and somebody else or Jade and somebody else, and we would have been totally happy. But now we have to do it in this way. So congratulations to Jade Cargill for doing nothing for the women's division. Thank you so much for doing nothing for that title. Wow, she looks so cool with the title on her. Gives a shit, man. Think about the product you're watching. God damn it. Ugh. I have nothing else to say about that shit. It was very annoying. It's very frustrating. Matter of fact, I'll try and call her promo right now. Like I said, she's going to come out. I told you all that I'd be champion, and here I am. Taffy time, that's me just making fun of the fact that she can't fucking say Tiffy time, is now over. And the storm is coming for all of you. And then somebody's music's going to hit. Or just her music's going to hit, and then she'll walk off. That's it. That's it. Some generic promo about how everybody's haters, the storm's coming, blah, blah, blah. Goodbye. Or somebody comes out. Probably Tiffany, if Tiffany's not actually hurt. Before we talk about any of the other matches, I'll bring up the John Cena announcement. First of all, they got me. I watched the day after. I watched on Sunday for Saturday Night Main Event. And I'm standing there, about to walk off to go to the bathroom because I don't fast forward through it. I just like the second. I live in the live as if it's live. I live in the recording as if it's live. So the second they go to like doing something like, oh, you know, John Cena did an interview with so-and-so, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to the bathroom now. and I hear them say that he's going to do some announcement, and I'm like, yo, John Cena's there? Like, this would be appearance number 4 if he's showing up right now. And for that reason, I was kind of okay with the fact that he did not show up, and instead it was a hype package to announce the new tournament that will find out who is John Cena's last opponent. Now that's cool, 16-man tournament, you know, names that probably are from like TNA and Lucha Underground, AAA, that will more than likely be in that tournament as he's hinting at. But my question is okay, cool. I'm glad we'll find that out. Who are you facing in these next 3 appearances, dog? Who are you fighting at Survivor Series? I don't remember if there's another PLE in between there. But who are you fighting those next 2 appearances before this last final opponent in December? That's my question. Way to try to Jedi mind trick me away from all that, but I'm not budging. I want to know who's 1, 2, and 3 before number 4. But we'll find out as time goes on. Now to the actual matches. And please, before I go on to that, let me know down below in the comments who you think John Cena's final opponent should be at this point. I feel like at this point it's changed a lot for people. It was like an obvious like Gunther or Braun Breaker, and that's still probably the front runners. But there's a lot of other ideas that people are having, like Dom, of course, and you know, people think it's going to be Edge, which at this point I thought it was too, but I don't think it's going to be Edge. So let me know. Let me know what you think and why. Now let's talk about Cody versus Drew. As per normal, I was thinking about it as it was happening. You know, sit there and I don't understand how people can sit there and stare at me and be like, yeah, the Cody run's whack. Cody run 1 and 2 are whack. And I'm like, I was sitting there thinking about all the matches he did in both these runs. With Drew against Cena, against Logan, against AJ, against Kevin. I mean, the title defenses have been insane. And the stipulation on this Saturday made me think about the stipulations he has done already. And it's incredible. It's incredible the show he's putting on. And I think for literally no reason except for people like want him to lose or you know, forcing this heel turn narrative on him, that everybody hates it. And I don't understand it. I thought the story in the match that they told, that Drew and Cody told, was incredible. And I thought that it did something interesting that I noticed, which was Cody uses the title by accident or on purpose, who knows, but Cody uses the title, then Crossroads Drew for a win. I noticed that the crowd all didn't go crazy when he used the title, right? Like there was a pop, like, oh shit, he used the title. And I could see, as I'm looking at the crowd in the shot, that there's some mixed reactions in this bag. And again, the whole crowd didn't pop like, yes, finally, like, okay, now go get him. There was a mixed reaction of like, we all believe this story and this baby face of Cody so much that when he finally did that heel tactic, when he finally pulled the trigger on it, because you can think about Kevin Owens' match of like, oh, he went kind of heelish there. Like, no. He just got intense. He did a no DQ match and got intense and beat the fuck out of Kevin, right? But he has not done a heel way of winning yet until now. And it reminded me of how good he is at making everybody believe his character and how much everybody's invested in Cody as a babyface. Because although everybody was happy that he won, I'm happy he won. There's this thing of like, yo, man, like you're supposed to be better than everybody else. Like you're supposed to not do that. And it's still the argument. Like Cole put it out there in the narrative like it seemed to be an accident. It seemed like he didn't know he used the belt. But Barrett, being a great spin heel commentator, saying like he absolutely knew and he used the belt and he got away with cheating. And without having to listen to any inputs, and I know it's already out there, there's crowd indifference. People are, in a sense of believing the story, putting yourself in the story. You go like, Cody, you all right, man? Like you didn't have to use that title, but he did have to use that title. But you didn't have to use the title in order to win. And you've been using it a lot recently, like kind of like John was. You okay, big dog? So it's a cool way to start like hinting at heel turns and everything. So that's cool if that's what we're doing with it. But either way, it made me very interested. I don't think I have a negative or positive point to make about that whole thing. Just more that I found it extremely interesting, less than what people are saying where it just was whack. Like, no. You got to really read into the story that they're telling you guys. You got to really get into the meat and potatoes of what they're trying to tell you with these things. It was and pay attention to the crowd and how they react and see how the story is actually making people in real time that aren't confused maybe, or even are confused and you're not confused. It's what makes wrestling so cool. So Cody wins. Shouts out Cody. Always appreciative of the American Nightmare keeping that belt around him. Poor Drew McIntyre. One day you'll get it. One day. And I'm looking forward to that. Drew deserves a big title win. Big. Like, his title win needs to be like WrestleMania, pyro overdone, like crazy celebration. And if he doesn't, Drew will just end up going down in history as probably top 5. And I'm thinking about it hard right now, and I mean it. Top 5 wrestlers of all time. All time. Not just this era. Drew has done everything that everybody else has done that's a legend. Plus more. Put some respect on his name. We got to start wrapping this up. We got to start getting out of here. So, for that fact, we'll talk about the 2 other matches that happened. All title matches. Triple threat. Rusev. Penta. Dom. Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom. Incredible. I mean, these 3 dudes are the epitome of what good wrestling is today. Especially in a lucha setting. And Rusev is just a guy who, he's getting over because everybody, especially with the Raw recap interviews he's done, and the backstage segments he's done, the hype videos he's done, and the matches he's putting on, he is an example of putting in the hard work, dedicating yourself to your character, and making it believable. Incredible. And so that matter, him, Penta with the all blue aura. I thought Penta was winning because simply the pyro. He got in that ring. He did like his 3rd set of pyro, and I was like, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of pyro right there. That's a lot of fireworks. Penta's winning tonight, and I had to remind myself, like, well, Dom don't like concussion blasts, and he doesn't like the fireworks and all that. So you would never know with Dom. Like, you would never be able to tell. So anyway, the match goes on. Check it out. Watch it over in a way that you can. It's absolute cinema. And for the last little bit, Dom's not even in there. And you're like, where? Dom's busted up. And Rusev's putting it on Penta. And he finally puts in the accolade. Gets the I don't know what he calls the kick, but he gets that kick off the top rope from Penta. Puts in the accolade. And the bell starts ringing. And it is such a good work that it got me. I was about to be... My first reaction when that bell went, I said, oh, somebody's getting fired. Somebody's getting fired today. They messed up big time. There was no tap. And then I noticed how much Rusev's celebrating. And I'm like, oh, this... And of course, thank God the ref's like, no, I didn't. No. And you start realizing, wait a minute. Who would be ringing the bell like that? And Rusev, again, the way he sells, man. He's like, yeah, he's like upset. He's like, raise my hand, please. Yes, I did it. Just to cut to Dom with the hammer, doing the tongue and pulling up his pants, and he keeps smacking the bell. Dom does a fake bell to throw off Rusev to stop him from submitting Penta, and Dominic steals the victory again. He lies, he cheats, he steals. He is the guy, man. I was worried. I was like, I mean, Dom's got to lose a title at some point, I assume, right? But I don't want it to be tonight. Like, I'd love for him to keep going, but I could have sworn Penta was the man to win tonight. And he wasn't. He was not. Shouts out Dirty Dom. And, of course, going into the main event, CM Punk versus Jey Uso. Everybody knew CM Punk was taking this fight. Everybody. There may have been some doubts of like, oh, well, you know, Jey Uso could still be the guy. It would be a crazy win if he beat CM Punk. CM Punk may want to put over a young talent like Jey Uso, etc. Young talent. Jey Uso's like, no, he's been around for like 14 years. So they may want to put over like the next gen, whatever the case may be. And I was hearing all that. I'm like, none of that, dude. Punk's winning for sure. Seth's gone for now. They need somebody who is like, I would hope none of this, I don't think it ever, I'm hoping it won't, I should say, will ever get to Punk's head if he's hearing all this from all aspects. But I mean, he is the guy, man. Like his promo skills are probably the best in the game. it'd be hard to say as a wrestler, because like people like Paul Heyman and other people can probably out promo him, or at least go blow for blow. There's plenty of people who can, but as a wrestler who can deliver promos anywhere at any time, Punk has to be the best guy. And he's been proving that he can go 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it is, putting on a banger in a match that tests his body, and he can come back next week and still keep delivering. So that all that added up, and it's like Punk's definitely the guy. And if that wasn't enough for you, the promo between both of them on Monday, I mean, all Jay has anymore is "Let's go, Oos. Let's go. Let's go, Oos. Let's do it then." And he does that to everybody. And then it's been same thing with Jade. It's been the same thing with him regularly. Tired of people doubting me. Tired of people saying I can't be a champion. Tired of people saying I'm just a tag team. Like, dude, you've been setting this fucking narrative for almost 2 years now. It is tiring as shit. Find something else to fight for. That's why I was so interested in like the Roman, him becoming like Roman aspect, because I'm like, finally, something different that's bugging him and that he's dealing with. But it just keeps going back to, I gotta prove myself, Oos. People don't believe in me. My family don't believe in me. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And that's all he did. Screw you, Punk. That's all he said. That was the only thing he said that wasn't the same shit he always says. And also, it's like the rap battle thing where it's like when he did 4 letters, 1 word, yeah. When he did that, I was like, well, actually, sir, when you guys got in the ring together, Punk already said 4 letters, 1 word, Punk. So he actually already did your thing. So it's almost like you're just doing his thing that your thing is, but he already did it to you, and now you're trying to do it back, and it doesn't work the same. It doesn't work the same. But of course, you know, you got the crowd who's like, Yeet. They see him getting ready for Yeet, and they're like, oh, Yeet. I'll make a point about that before this episode's over. But the match itself, great match. You know, I've heard the critique of like, oh, they spent too much time spamming finishers. I'm like, it made it great. It was for a second you really didn't know who was gonna win until Punk finally did. And like I'm kind of over like the spot where Punk does like he falls to his knees and catches somebody. I'm kind of over that, but hey, it's still pretty cool. Like, it's kind of a signature. It's like you're not over Randy doing the Viper's bite off the rope. Like, it's his signature. It's cool. And Punk's trying to like make that part of a signature that he does on like an exhausting match, which tells a story. Doesn't matter if he does it over and over again. But I personally am a little sick of it. Maybe it should be used a little bit more scarcely and sparingly, like mistletoe over the threshold, if you would. So Punk wins. He gets his big moment. Fireworks going off. This time we're not getting a cash in. He does get to stay champion for more than 5 minutes. And Jey Uso's down in the corner. They take the shot of Jey Uso down in the corner looking up at Punk. Jey Uso posts on Instagram later, y'all win, with the middle finger up. What a baby. What a baby. The best man won, and it wasn't you, my guy. It just wasn't you, and it wasn't going to be you. The two of you, again, LA Knight should have been in your spot. And that's facts. LA Knight should have been going against CM Punk. Even if LA Knight was going to end up losing, he should have been the one in that picture. Because now it makes it a hard thing of like, do we have Punk lose the title almost immediately to LA Knight? Or what do we do with that? Braun Breaker's still in the picture, so we kind of have to think about that. Like, now you've put it in this situation of like, do you elevate Punk for quite some time while he beats people like Braun Breaker and LA Knight? Or do you just use him as a transitional champion? And Punk's a different guy now. Like, he might be okay with a transitional champion type thing. So, time will tell. Time will tell. Before I go, I wanted to point out something about the crowds, which is that I want to remind you that the crowds, that although we have a lot of good fans, tons of good fans, and tons of them, if I had to put a percentage, I'd say like 60-40. 60% of them are like true die-hard fans who, you know, have good jobs and they have enough money to go to those shows when they come in, and or, you know, every week, just depending, you know, like, but this, as we all know, ticket prices are so expensive for WWE nowadays, and I want to remind people that the people that are going to those shows and paying the money for those seats aren't always diehards. And this is to point out a thing about, you know, going off of the Yeet thing. They're going to those shows because of the things that they've seen that they're interested in, right? So if they have a lot of money and they're interested even just by scrolling on TikTok and seeing some clips or seeing a video on YouTube or their friend telling them about it and then being interested in the Yeet Man, you're going to get that crowd that's going to go there and yeet like crazy for Jey Uso and then not know who Ilya Dragunov is. So there's a discourse of, well, you know, the online discourse of hating Jey Uso isn't the same as the crowd reaction. I'm like, it's because people love to do the thing. If Enzo Amore came back tonight on this episode of Raw and did, my name is Enzo Amore and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, everybody would do it with him. Everybody. It doesn't mean that he's the most over person in the show. Paul Heyman comes out on a weekly and there's no bigger pop than, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. If you're a wrestling fan and you're watching this, you probably with me right now just said Paul Heyman. So the fact that people yeet doesn't necessarily mean that Jay's super over. His yeet thing is super over, but the reality is that at the end of the day, people want to cheer somebody that has, again, more substance, more character development, more promo skills, more of something to say, something to fight for. CM Punk will forever be the voice of the voiceless, the straight edge superstar, the best of all time, the best in the world. Sorry. Like, you gotta have more. So just to point out that the crowds nowadays, you know, again, got plenty of people who are big time fans, big time whatever, but it's just like if you go to a football game and then like there's people who are there. Basketball is a better example. There's tons of people who go to basketball games who have a ton of money and they just go simply to go to an event. Same thing with wrestling. Same thing. So keep that in mind when trying to depict and understand the crowds. Just saying. Maybe that's just me, but for me, that's me. Guys, thanks so much for watching this podcast. We are back, baby. Thank you so much. Please go down to the comment section. Talk to me about what you think about what's going on in wrestling. Hit the like button, subscribe, share out to a wrestling friend or family member in your life. And then you can go down show notes if you want. Don't forget, you can skip ahead. You're seeing this now too late, but you can, you know, for the next one, prior ones, go down, hit the show notes. You can go to the timestamps. You can get to where you want to go to see what I'm talking about, so you can skip to the good parts that you think are good. Thank you so much for watching this podcast. We'll see you guys next week with some more Wrestle Talk.